Welcome back to Real Auto Solutions. My name's Jack. Thanks for joining me today. You join me under a PX Ranger. It is a 2013 model. It's got a 6R80 automatic transmission in it. And we're going to do the lead frame. It's got a p0720, p0722 output shaft speed sensor faults. So these things, they run a few issues for the range selector. The lead frame that's built has an issue where the output shaft speed sensor stops sending a signal, and that is built into the lead frame assembly, so you've got to replace the whole assembly, and hopefully we can guide you through doing this. I'll just flip the cam. So we're underneath the car, we've got the car jacked up, jack stands. Make sure you're being safe when you're doing this, guys. So we have to drop the pan first. We're going to pull our selector off. Two 10mm bolts up here, and we'll pull that out of the way because that is covering the pan from coming down. And then we're essentially going to work all these 8mm out and drop the pan, drop the filter and the gasket, drop all the oil, hopefully catch all the oil in our drain pan. This job probably would be a lot easier on the hoist, but we're going to tackle it at home. So we'll pull this out, two 10mm up the side there. We'll get that off first. So we've got our range selector off. Now we're going to work on all the 8mm bolts and drop that off. It's probably I like to do it from, take this side out first because these are the most awkward bolts because they're sitting just above the cross member here. So take these out. Yes, you're going to get oil. Get yourself an oil catch tray. We'll lower this down and catch the oil. I've just got a little electric rattle gun, extension, 8mm socket. Might have to get these by hand with the uni. And yeah, pull that down. Okay, so we've got, you can see how many we've got out, and now we're just starting to get some oil leaking out of the trans. So we'll just keep working our way across, let that drip down into the catch tray. Obviously we're going to clean that up afterwards. Keep working it down. You can pop that off. So now we've got the pan off and the filter, which the filter sat in here and sits across the valve body like that. You can sort of let it drip off for 10 minutes if you want, but we can also work on a few things. We've got to get the dipstick level plug out. So there's 19mm. That 19mm right there, driver side. Take the 19mm out, pull your level plug dipstick out, and then we can go to the back of the trans and we'll get the electronics connector off whilst this drains out. Note that oil in this one is particularly dirty. There's not much build up on the actual magnet in the pan, but yeah, not ideal. We need to be servicing our transmissions a bit sooner than this. So hello Ollie. So let that drip off, get your 19mm out, and then we'll go to the mechatronics, the plug. So now you can see we've got our dipstick out. It can be a bit awkward, especially if you've got the DPF model. DPF sits right here. That's super tight if they haven't been pulled out in a while. So now we want to be looking at our plug, and you just want to push that up, hopefully. Again, can be tight. So you push your little tag up, pull your connector off, and we will be changing that seal because they're a common leak spot, and the way that you change that seal is right here. You push your tag in and then you pull this down like that, and then you need to try and work that out with a screwdriver or a little pry, being a bit careful. You can try pull it, which I'm trying right now, but yeah, pretty tight. Again, just being careful, work it out, and yeah, so we'll get that part out next. So I've just got my multi-grips and pop the seal out. So we'll be changing that seal. So that's sort of still dripping off. I think we'll just leave it for like another 10 minutes or so, and then we'll start getting the valve body out of it. So I've just, it's a bit awkward, gone over and marked all the bolts that you need to take out to drop the valve body. And you can see the bolts actually are a bit different. So you can see the head of that bolt is quite large compared to this one, is quite shallow. There's also 3 up the back here. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to take these 3 out first and then start working on the valve body bolts. This will drop the valve body and the lead frame. There is some bolts in here that hold the lead frame together into the valve body. We'll take those out afterwards. You pretty much want to probably leave these 2 in last, because you're going to get some more oil draining out. So I'm going to start working on these, and these 3 up the side near the solenoids, leaving these 2. So hopefully you can see all the ones with the white marks. Pause the video if you need to. And that will drop the valve body out. So now we're taking the bolts out. You can see we're getting more oil draining out. So we'll just let that drip off again until we drop the valve body. So we've got the valve body and lead frame out. Output shaft speed sensor, input shaft speed sensor. So there's a couple of seals. There's another one that's actually stuck in the case. So this one's got 3, some of them have got 4. So you need to be aware of what ones they are. There are different lengths as well. So you need to be careful about that. Something else I'll show you once I clean the camera up. Just 1 second. Alright, torch. There's the other set of seals right there. You can see at the front next to the orange pump, next to the orange filter seal, and then to the left of that you've got your cooler bypass valve. So you want to make sure that that doesn't either fall out. There's a spring behind there as well, so you just want to pull that down and grab the spring and everything. And then you also want to take the case seals out there as well, and your filter seal, but everything's looking pretty nice, clean under there. So I'll just pull all 3 of those out. Filter bypass, a cooler bypass, pump to case seals, and might not get that filter seal out yet, we'll see. And then the 4 holes at the back there, and you can see 1 seal in there still. That's where your other seals go. So they're possible for, sometimes they have 3. They're all different colours and different lengths, so make sure you don't mix them up, but they all sit flush with the bottom of the case like that one is, so you can't really mix them up. So that's that. Now we'll separate the lead frame from the valve body. Okay, so first seal we pulled out, bypass valve, seal, and we'll put these three on. 1, 2, 3. You can see all different lengths, and take those off. Jesus, that's stuck on there. There we go. So we'll obviously give that a clean up, and we'll flip the valve body over. We'll get the lead frame off it. Okay, so I've marked the other lead frame bolts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we'll take those bolts out, we'll flip this back over, and then we'll start working up the lead frame. You don't really want to touch your solenoids, pretty sensitive. Just give them just gave it all a quick wipe down. So yeah, take those 6 out. That one too. Flip it over and take your lead frame out. Alright, so now we've got the lead frame off. There is some locating dowels. You just need to pry it off and then pop it up. You've got your manual fucking, mind my language, manual thing here. So you need to obviously bring that up with it, make sure that's nice and free. And when we put the new lead frame on, we need to locate the range selector in here. So I'll grab the new one. So new lead frame comes with a new foam piece, and that's to stop the clutch pack material going across the terminals of the solenoids and causing all weird and wacky symptoms. So now we're just going to feed this back onto the valve body, flip it over, put our bolts in, torque them up. But yes, don't forget to locate it onto your gear manual selector, and that's onto this part right here. So they both slide. Make sure that locks into there. So now we've got the lead frame done up. I've cleaned up the faces of our sealing points. So we're going to pop the new seals, which I'll grab out of the box. We're going to pop those into the case of the transmission. Same with this seal into the case, and our bypass valve into the case. You might want to put some transmission assembly lube on this. It can be pretty hard. Sometimes they fall out and they can be a bit annoying. Yeah, so you might need to put some transmission assembly lube, or maybe a little bit of Vaseline just to hold it in there. And then we can pop this back up and put the bolts back in, start doing them up. So we're actually going to do an upgrade on this one with the cooler bypass valve. We're going to put this in there, which essentially replaces the thermal side of this valve. This goes straight in there, and essentially this allows full flow through the cooler at all times, so you can now flush the transmission if needed, and the level you will set straight away because it'll be accurate going straight through the cooler. You get lower transmission temps. Yeah, so it's a bit of an upgrade. So we'll pop this in there, and we've got our seals on there. We're going to pop those in there, and then the other seal, pop that up there. We'll get our valve body and back into the car. Alright, got the seals in. You can see that, 1, 2, 3, and the seal at the back there. Haven't got my bypass valve in just yet. Gonna get some Vaseline, stick that in, and I'm actually gonna get my wife to come and help. I'm gonna put the valve body up into place, and she's just gonna screw a couple of the bolts in just to hold it there. Something that you need to be cautious of, the gear selector on here as well needs to locate into the opposing side of this. So you need to locate that in there, get that sitting up, Make sure your bypass valve doesn't drop out. Replace your seals, put it up, bolt it up. Happy days. Alright, so we're getting there. Valve body's in, done up, and selectors are both locked in together. Just need to get our little seal out. We can pop our filter back in, clean our pan up, and put the pan back on. Oh no, I've got to put this in. That would have been bad. Alright, we've got to put our seal in now. So we just literally CRC on the housing and on the seal. We'll push the seal in, and then we need to pop that up into place. Alright, well that was a mission to get that rear seal in. So I've got the seal in, I've locked the tab in, put the electronics plug in, I've locked that down, pulled my seal out of my filter. Alright, now we can pop the filter in, well I've got to clean the pan up, clean the face up, pop the filter in, pop it all back together, and put some oil in it. Yep. Well, I think we'll wrap it up there. If you've gotten this far, I assume that you know how to fill the trans up and set the level properly. Part number for stuff, put it down in the description. Thanks for watching. It's been an eventful one. Catch you in the next one, guys. Take care.